So if you clicked on this video, you probably seen the title and you probably want to know, what is Miao? For some of you, you probably have an idea or you probably have a clear idea of what it is. However, some of you don't know what it is because it's rather confusing because of all the information that's out there.
Huh?
For those of you who are wondering, let me show you.
They sure to see Lumbe, Mel, Đệ Mong, Du Mong, Tia, Tự Trả Mong.
Nó khai mà vô itu khen được mà, còn sao chỉ có luôn này, chỉ luôn này.
Lo lo Mel nó, mà blo co lo nợ sủa.
Nó Miao和Miao最一样的，那孩子妹们的。
Doctor Yang Đạo, hai tia, lo lù Mel, do y lo lù, cả mượn.
Bây giờ Mông, bây chỉ giờ Miao, cái bây chỉ tại chỗ, chủ yếu bây chỉ sát tháp lâu lý này xứ.
To many, it is seen as a derogatory term, while for others, it is an appropriate descriptor for a particular ethnic group depending on the context.
Confused? Well, you came to the right place. Today we will be talking about what is Miao and how this term relates to the Hmong ethnic group and whether or not this term is good or bad. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Roots and Gaps. If you are new here, my name is B and I will be your host. Before we talk about our topic, let's roll that intro. So in this video, I'll be talking to two different audiences. The first audience are the non-Hmong people. The second audience will be the Hmong community themselves. Let's start with the non-Hmong community. So the term Miao in relationship to the Hmong ethnic group happens to be the difference between two different languages. Miao is Mandarin for Hmong. To be more specific, it's actually Miao Zu that actually translates to Hmong, while Hmong is the translation from the Hmong language itself. So as my journey continues, I did find that the Laotian does call us Meo, the spelling M-E-O. However, it is still evidence that this is due to the translation from the Mandarin language. And we'll talk more in depth about the Laotian later on in this video. Now moving on to the Hmong audience. So if you've been following me, you probably know that I made two videos talking about the negative side and the positive side of the term Miao. And if you want to see that and you haven't seen it, I'll leave in the description below. However, I want to come to the middle, whether or not you believe the term is good or bad, that try to think of the term Miao as someone else's language. Just like how in Hmong we say Nyo Zhong, but in English it's hi. It totally sounds different. So what I'm really saying is, let's not put a meaning behind the term Miao. Hear me out. The Hmong in China are saying that Miao means seed for the reason that in Mandarin, Yang Miao is the word for seeds. However, what I'm saying is, I don't think the Han ethnicity thinks of when they say the Miao people, they're thinking of the Seed people. If this is confusing, let me explain it just a little bit further. The Han Chinese in our language, we call them Shuo. However, in our language, Shuo also have another meaning. It means counting, like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What I'm saying is, when we say the Shuo people, we don't think the counting people. And what I'm saying about the Han ethnicity is, I don't think they're saying Miao Zu or the Miao people and think of the Seed people. They're just saying these are these people. And I'm specifying the Han ethnic group because if you've been following me, I stated that we mistranslated the term Chinese. And of course, right now it is Chinese and we can't change that. But it's important to know if we're going to talk about this, right? And I'm saying this because Chinese is more of a nationality. When we're talking about Shuo specifically, we're really pointing to a specific ethnic group. And for those who don't understand, I stated this. Right? And then in Mandarin, I said, Yi is Yizu, Nian is Yaozu, and Han is Hanzu. Hence why they call us Miaozu. Miao is how they call us, and Zu means ethnic group. So going back to how the Hmong in China are saying young Miao means seeds, and Miao Zu is how it is said Hmong in Mandarin. They're putting these two words together and saying that it means seeds. However, I was stating that think of it as its own language and don't put a meaning behind it. And the reason for it is like so. Think of the word for. The word for in Hmong is blau. And there are other words that gives different meanings to the word. When you say blau, it will mean something else. For example, blondu is problems, or you can say consequences. And blaho would mean hair. So why is this important? It's important because we can omit, like for example, the word blondu, we can take away do, and it will still has its meaning depending on the context of the sentence. And same thing for the word hair. For example, the sentence, which means in our language, don't go out so late, for there are consequences. In this sentence, we omit do, but we understand that it is blondu for consequences. And we can do the same thing for blaho. We can say things such as, oh, right? Which means in our language, oh, it looks like you're growing some hair. In the Mandarin language, they do this also, where they omit certain words, and certain words has the same word, but there's more words to it, such as miaozu and yang miao. One means seeds and one means Hmong. Therefore, I'm stating that in the Mandarin language that they're not thinking of the seed people when they say Miao people. They're just saying the Miao people as in these people. And for those of you who had bad experience from the term Miao, I do apologize for that. However, I do also want to say, don't hold grudges against it. I would say educate others about this, right? Now, I'm going to play as a skit that sort of relates to this to give us another context on how we should educate others. We'll talk about it more after we watch this video.
哎呀，你哋個杜龍公俾佢賺啦！
開過開啦嘛？杜龍公有沒有甜米呢？啊，
甜米！
哇，只有啦哈，你們俾我點甜米。
甜米。
哦，只有甜米啦。
哦，就原來冇誒，就係地龍俾 Mong chỉ tìm bê có rung nó. Ấy lúc bê nó tìm bê mì cá nó.
Nhớ mà hai lo mình rung đi nè chuột không hả? Bé cho lúa sắm mãi no lá. Ý là nhưng mà ý lúc bê mì cá na.
Anh đây có một thế à?
Hả chứ?
Anh đây có lũ hù chả nó.
Lúc bê hùa đẹp vì nữa nè.
Đấy vư.
Do chả na nhớ. Nông rồi rong mà. Đẹp vì.
So I'm bringing this up because we actually do this in real life. Like any English terms that we bring up to the elders, the Hmong elders, and they're confused about it, we will say to them, hey, you know, this is an English term, right? So I'm stating that we should be doing this to everyone out there too, you know, telling everyone that Miao is Mandarin and Hmong is our language. There's nothing more to it, you know, there's no meaning behind it. And I've said this many times in my videos, if the term Miao is really a bad term, the Hmong migration that migrated out of China happened in the Qing dynasty, and that's roughly 200 years ago. And for me, that's a big gap, right? So if it's such a bad term, wouldn't our ancestors make sure we don't even know that term anymore? But yet it carried on to now, and we know what it is, right? Now remember how I said we were going to talk about the Laotian group? Well, let's talk about that now. So I got curious, so I asked someone I know from Laos who is Hmong if they could ask me their Laotian friends about the term Miao and why they call us that. And here's what happened. So for context, these are people at their workplace, okay? So they asked a person who's Laotian about, hey, why do you guys call us Miao? And other Laotian people heard it in their workplace, and so they decided to chime in. And they all stated saying they don't know actually what it means. They just heard that it's how someone calls another ethnicity, and that's it. However, they do not know why they call the Hmong people that. They did state it that they heard some people talking about how, you know, some people use it as a bad term, but then from their understanding is that it's just someone else's language on how they call someone or a group, which I find this very interesting, and it's very resourceful. And sure, we can say that, okay, you know, this isn't a lot of Laotian people, therefore it's not a lot of evidence, but hear me out. If it's a bad word, right? Say for example, it's a bad Hmong word, every Hmong person should know that's a bad word. Every English word that's a bad word, anyone who is American born should know that it's a bad word. If a small portion already don't even know what it means, then it goes back to what we were saying, that it's just a Mandarin word. And I want to say this, thank you so much for social media. Like, the Hmong in China are able to reach out, and that just means so much, right? Considering the fact that we migrated out of China, right? Like a group of us migrated out of China into Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Burma. It's just nice to know that we still exist in China. So in conclusion, Miao is just Mandarin, while Hmong is a translation from our language. Miao specifically is Miao Su, that means Hmong. It does not have a specific meaning. And let's not put a specific meaning out there. And if anyone were to state that Miao is a bad word, let's be the bigger person and educate them. This is all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
你说蒙语吗？
会
是蒙族。
是
哦，蒙族
我是蒙族，
蒙族，你们这里全部还说蒙语？
有的，
有的
就我这样的，我是蒙古人。
你的。